Banks across America are issuing formal warnings right now, not suggestions, not tips. Official consumer alerts backed by federal agencies directed specifically at seniors. Most people haven't seen them. The ones who have often didn't realize how serious they were. What's being warned about isn't the same fraud landscape from 2 years ago. Several of these schemes are documented in 2026 specifically. One of them is currently the fastest growing financial crime targeting seniors in the entire country, according to the FBI. Another one emptied accounts in a matter of hours, and it started not over the phone, not online, but in person, inside the bank or at the ATM. If you receive Social Security on a card, visit a bank branch, or use an ATM, this video applies to you. That's essentially every senior in America. Watch to the end. Then pass it to someone you care about. This is the kind of information that matters more before something happens than after. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the bell. And I want to give you the specific reason that matters here. The schemes I'm covering today aren't static. The crypto ATM fraud, the cash trap device, the phone handover trick, these are active in 2026, documented by federal agencies this year, and the majority of people targeted by them had no idea they existed until it was too late. What this channel does is track exactly this kind of developing threat, new scams, new rules, new consumer protections, and bring it to you in plain language before it becomes a problem for you or someone in your life. The people who are subscribed find out while there's still time to act. The ones who aren't tend to find out after the account is already empty. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's go through all of it. Scheme 1. Cash trap devices. The American Bankers Association issued an official fraud alert this year following documented cases in Philadelphia and surrounding areas involving a device called a cash trap, a small physical insert placed inside the cash dispenser slot of an ATM that captures your bills as they're dispensed. Here's how it plays out. You complete a transaction. The machine registers it as successful. Nothing comes out. You assume the ATM malfunctioned. You walk away to go inside the branch or try another machine. The moment you step away, the person who installed the trap removes it along with your cash. The ABA and the U.S. Secret Service have both issued warnings about this specific scheme in 2026. What to do if it happens to you? Don't leave the machine. Stay at that ATM, call your bank directly from that location, and ask them to flag the transaction before you go anywhere. Walking away first is what makes the loss unrecoverable. Rule 1. Your card never leaves your hands. Banks are now formally telling customers this in branch materials and official guidance. Your card does not leave your possession at an ATM, not to a stranger offering to assist, not to someone who says the machine isn't working right, not to anyone who isn't a uniformed bank employee inside a secured teller window. Here's why this is more serious than it sounds. A device called a skimmer, or its newer version called a shimmer, can read every piece of data off your card in under 3 seconds of physical contact. A shimmer fits inside the card slot itself and reads your chip, not just the magnetic stripe. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't feel anything different. 3 seconds is all it takes. If you have difficulty using an ATM on your own, go inside the branch and ask a uniformed employee for assistance. If a stranger near the machine offers to help and reaches toward your card, walk away from the ATM entirely and go inside. Rule 2. Cover your PIN. The ABA's official consumer guidance is unambiguous on this. Shield the keypad with your other hand every single time you enter your PIN, even when no one appears to be nearby. Documented fraud cases have involved small mirrors, cameras disguised as ATM fixtures, and recording devices positioned near keypads that captured PINs from customers who believed they were completely alone. Inside a branch, when a teller assists you with a transaction, that employee is required by bank policy to look away when you enter your PIN. It is not courtesy. It is protocol. If a teller doesn't turn away, say it directly, "Please look away while I enter my PIN." That is a completely standard request, and every legitimate bank employee will honor it immediately. Rule 3. Your phone stays in your hands. This one catches people off guard because refusing feels impolite. A bank employee asks to hold your phone to help set up an app, troubleshoot an account issue, or walk you through a setting. You hand it over. It seems like routine assistance. Banks are actively warning customers about this in 2026. A phone with an open banking app is direct access to your accounts. In documented cases, someone in possession of a phone for as little as 30 seconds has transferred funds out of the account, added themselves as a trusted device, or installed remote access software that gave them ongoing control long after they handed the phone back. Legitimate bank employees guide you through what to do. You enter the information yourself. If anyone insists they physically need to hold your device in order to help you, ask for a branch manager on the spot. That is a completely reasonable request. Any legitimate bank will accommodate it without hesitation, and no one at a real bank will take offense at it. Rule 4. Never move cash to a crypto ATM. This is the newest scheme on this list, and the one banks are flagging most urgently in 2026. The FBI and the Associated Press both report it's now among the fastest-growing financial frauds targeting seniors in the country, and the people who fall victim to it are frequently sharp, educated, and careful, not people who would describe themselves as easy targets. Here's the exact sequence. You receive a call, text, or official-looking message from someone claiming to be the IRS, the Social Security Administration, Medicare, or law enforcement. They tell you that your account has been compromised, that you owe back taxes, or that someone has stolen your identity and your money needs to be moved immediately for protection. They sound professional and authoritative. They often know your name and sometimes specific details about your finances. They direct you to withdraw cash from your bank, sometimes $10,000, sometimes $30,000, sometimes everything, and deposit it into a Bitcoin ATM or cryptocurrency kiosk. They tell you this is the only secure way to protect the funds. The moment that cash goes into the machine, it is gone. Permanently. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be traced. It cannot be recovered by any bank, any regulator, or any law enforcement agency. What has changed in 2026? Indiana became the first state to ban cryptocurrency ATMs entirely in March 2026. Tennessee and Minnesota followed. As of May 2026, 30 states have enacted laws specifically restricting crypto kiosk operations because of this exact scheme. Banks are now training tellers to intervene when a senior customer requests an unusually large cash withdrawal, because in many of these cases, the person is on the phone with a scammer while standing at the window. If a bank employee asks you why you're withdrawing a large amount of cash, answer honestly. They are not being intrusive. They may be the last person between you and a total, unrecoverable loss. And know this with absolute certainty. The real IRS, the real Social Security Administration, and real law enforcement do not instruct anyone, ever, under any circumstances, to move money into cryptocurrency. If anyone claiming to represent those agencies tells you to do that, the call is a fraud. Hang up immediately. Rule 5. Read before you sign. This one happens not at an ATM and not over a phone call. It happens at a desk inside the branch, with a friendly employee handing you paperwork and moving at a pace that makes slowing down feel rude. Banks are formally telling customers, you are never required to sign anything you haven't read. The significant terms, the ones that matter, are in the details. Automatic credit line increases, consent to share your data with third parties, enrollment in fee-based services you never requested. These have all appeared in documents that customers signed quickly under the assumption that it was routine paperwork. If someone hands you documents and seems impatient for your signature, say clearly, I need a moment to read this. No legitimate financial institution can require you to sign without reading. If anyone pushes back on that, ask for a branch manager. If a charge appears on your statement that you don't recognize, call the bank and ask whether you signed an authorization for it. If you signed something under pressure and didn't fully understand what you were agreeing to, you have the right to file a formal complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau at consumerfinance.gov. One more protective tool worth knowing about: the Trusted Contact Designation. Many banks now offer, and in some states are required to offer, a system that allows you to designate a family member or trusted individual the bank can contact if they observe unusual account activity that may indicate fraud or financial exploitation. This person has no access to your money. They cannot initiate transactions, move funds, or make decisions on your behalf. They are simply someone the bank can alert if something looks wrong. If your bank offers this and you haven't set it up, it takes a few minutes and adds a layer of protection that costs you nothing. Here's everything in one place. Cash trap devices inside ATMs are an active, documented threat in 2026. If your cash doesn't dispense after a completed transaction, stay at the machine and call your bank from that location before leaving. Your card never leaves your hands at an ATM, not to a stranger, not to anyone outside a secured teller window. Cover your PIN every time, without exception, even when you believe no one is watching. Keep your phone in your possession inside the bank. Guide your own inputs. If anyone insists on holding your device, ask for a manager. Never withdraw cash and deposit it into a cryptocurrency ATM, because anyone, regardless of who they claim to be, instructed you to. The money cannot be recovered once it's gone. Read everything before you sign it. Slowing down is your right. Rushing you is a red flag. Set up a trusted contact with your bank if you haven't already. Here is your immediate action from this video. One thing you can do today. Call your bank and ask 2 questions. Does your account have a trusted contact on file? And have there been any recent changes to your account security settings that you didn't initiate? Those 2 questions take 5 minutes and can surface problems you don't know exist. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. The fraud landscape targeting seniors in 2026 is shifting faster than at any point in the past decade. New devices, new impersonation scripts, new technology that makes scammers harder to identify. When documented warnings come out from federal agencies and banking associations, this channel covers them in plain language before they reach the people who need the information. That's the entire purpose of being here. Share this video directly with someone you know who is over 60 and uses a bank or ATM regularly, not a general share. Send it to a specific person, a parent, a neighbor, a friend from church. The crypto ATM scheme alone has emptied accounts of people who would have described themselves as impossible to fool. The cash trap device was operating in documented locations this year before most seniors knew it existed. One conversation prompted by this video could prevent an outcome that cannot be undone. The banks have issued the warnings. The federal agencies have documented the schemes. The only remaining variable is whether the people who need this information actually receive it in time. You just did. Make sure someone else does too.